Hello and welcome students. We are into the 30th video lecture of the video lecture series made on the subject of mechanics of solid, whose subject code is ME201, and the topic which we are going to discuss today is the shearing stresses in beams. This is the first part of the shearing stresses in beams. I will continue this topic in the next video lecture also. And in today's topic of shearing stresses in beams, I will cover the shearing stresses in case of rectangular section, triangular section, and the circular section. I am Shri Krishna Mishra, Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. So let's start. First of all, let's see what are the objectives of today's lecture. The objectives, students, of today's lecture are: first, to understand about distribution of shearing stresses at a section in a loading beam. For example, if such is the situation, we are considering a very small portion and it is supported here and here. All right. So we are going to understand about the distribution of shearing stresses at any section. If you are considering any section, for example, this section, this is the section which we are considering. So in this section, what will be the pattern of the shearing stresses, distribution of shearing stresses that we are going to see. Then after, we are also going to know about the distribution of shearing stresses over a rectangular section. Over a rectangular section, what is the distribution of shearing stresses we are going to see. All right. Then after, we are also going to know about the distribution of shearing stresses over the triangular section. Triangular section means if the cross section is of a triangular shape, then in that case, how we will calculate the distribution of shearing stresses across this type of section, we will learn. And the next objective is to know about the distribution of shearing stresses over a circular section. Over a circular section, what are the distribution of shearing stresses? If there is a circular section like this, then we are going to understand the distribution of shearing stresses over this circular section. So basically, these are the objectives. First, we are going to understand what is the importance of knowing the distribution of shearing stresses in a loaded beam. Then we are going to see the distribution of shearing stresses in a rectangular section, then in a triangular section, and then in a circular section. Then finally, we are going to solve the numericals. Finally, we are going to solve some numericals based on it. All right. So let's move. So let's start. If we have discussed the theory of simple bending before this topic, the theory of simple bending I have discussed with you before this today's lecture, in which I have told you if this is the beam and it is loaded with some load and it is supported somewhere here and here, then in that case we have only considered that if there is only bending stresses that are developed in the beam, then that case we have discussed. But during that case, we have assumed that there is no shear force that is acting on the section. While studying the theory of simple bending, we have assumed that there is no shear stress that is acting on the beam at any section. But however, in actual practice, when a beam is loaded, the shear force at any section always comes into play. This is not true. The assumption which we have taken in the theory of simple bending, that there is no shear force, this assumption in actual practice, when a beam is loaded, then in that case the shear force at a section always comes into play along with the bending moment. Along with bending moment, there will always be shear force. But it has been observed that in normal circumstances, the value of shear stress is less. Therefore, generally we used to neglect it. It has been observed that the effect of shearing stresses as compared to bending stresses is quite negligible, and so it is not of much importance. But still, sometimes the shearing stress as the section assumes much importance in the design criteria. But it is not always that we will ignore the shearing stresses. Though the value of shearing stresses is negligible, but sometimes in the design criteria it is important to consider the shearing stresses also at a section. So in this chapter, what we are going to do in this chapter, we are going to discuss the shearing stresses for its own importance. All right. Now let's start. Let's see how we are going to derive an expression for calculating the shearing stress at a section in a loaded beam. We are going to, students, find an expression in order to calculate the shearing stresses in a loaded beam. Let's for example, if this is a beam, let's take its a small portion AC. Let's take it a small portion, this portion. We have taken a small portion among it. This is your A. All right, this is your C, this is your B, and this is your D. This is small portion we have taken out from a complete beam. Small portion is your ABDC. All right, and its length, for example, let it be equal to dx. Let its length be equal to dx, and let it be loaded with UDL load, uniformly distributed load. We are considering that there is UDL which is acting on the beam. There is UDL which is acting on the beam. This is the UDL that is acting on the beam. All right. Then after, we know that when a beam is loaded with a UDL, the shear force and bending moment vary at every point along the length of the beam. As we have already studied the topic of shear force and bending moment, and we have also seen how to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. And if you have not seen that video lectures in which I have taught these two topics, you can go and find in my previous video lectures. I have taught you how to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. There we have seen that the shear force and bending moment is not same everywhere. It varies at every point along the length of the beam. So here also the shear force value at AB's position and CD position will be different. Let the bending moment value at AB position be M. Similarly, the value of shear force at AB position be F. All right, these are the values for AB. Similarly, for the section CD, let the values be of bending moment M plus dm and shear force F plus df, and let the moment of inertia about this neutral axis be I of this whole beam. Now, as we have taken M and F value for the section AB and M plus dm bending moment value for the section CD, moment of inertia is I across the neutral axis. Now what we will do, let's take sigma as the value of intensity of bending stress across the section AB at a distance y from the neutral axis. This is the neutral axis, student. This is the neutral axis. So let the value of stress at a distance y from the neutral axis at this position, let the value of stress be sigma. All right, and this is at this plane AB, this is at this section AB. All right, let sigma be the value of stress at this plane AB at a distance of y from the neutral axis, and also let A be the cross sectional area of the strip. Let A be the cross sectional area of the strip. Now moving further, we all know, students, by the equation of theory of pure bending, we have seen that M upon I is equal to sigma by y. This is the bending equation, and from this we can find that sigma is equal to M upon I into y. Similarly, for the section CD, let's first of all bring this this diagram here in this slide also, so that it will be easy for you to understand. So here, students, as you can see that at this position AB, here sigma is equal to my by I, and in the position CD, since the value of bending moment is M plus dm and the value of stress is sigma plus d sigma, therefore sigma plus d sigma can be written as M plus dm upon I into y. All right, where sigma plus d sigma is what is this? Sigma plus d sigma is the intensity at the section CD. Now we also know that, students, that the force, shear force that will be acting along AB, how we calculate the force? If stress is given to us, we multiply it with area. So at the portion AB, at the section AB, your stress value is sigma and the area value is A. So we also know that stress sigma can be written as my by I, my by I. So putting this becomes the expression for force acting along AB. And similarly, the force acting along CD, what will be the value of force that is acting along CD? It will be equal to, here the stress value is sigma plus d sigma, and the area is same, cross sectional area is same everywhere, so it is A. So sigma plus d sigma, from this particular line, it can be taken as m plus dm upon I into y. So putting that value into this A, this will give you the value of force across the section CD. Now net unbalanced force on the strip, how we will calculate the net unbalanced force on the strip? So for the unbalanced force, we will subtract this value which we are getting of force at CD and the which we are getting of the force at AB. So on subtracting, putting the expression which we have obtained for this AB and for this CD, what we will get, this m and m will get cancelled out, this m and m will get cancelled out, and we will get dm upon I into y by 8. What we are getting finally, we are getting dm upon I into y into A. So this is what? This is the unbalanced net force. This is the unbalanced net force on the strip. Now students, if you want to find the total force that is acting on the beam, we will have to differentiate it. Total force that is acting on the beam above this neutral axis, we will have to differentiate between by taking the lower and the upper limit. So let's do that also. Total unbalanced force F above neutral axis can be found out by integrating the above equation between 0 and dy 2. So let's integrate. So on integrating, we are integrating between 0 and dy 2. If still you are not able to understand, I am bringing this diagram. I am bringing this diagram from here to here so that it will be easy for you to understand. Yes, now you can see that the total unbalanced force above the neutral axis can be found out by integrating between this value 0 at neutral axis. Distance of neutral axis from the neutral axis will be 0, and distance of this particular position from the neutral axis will be equal to how much? It will be equal to complete length is d by 2. So it will be equal to, complete length is d, so it will be equal to d by 2. So integrating within the limits 0 and dy 2 of this expression which we have obtained of the unbalanced force, how much we will get? Dm is the variable, and ay into dy will be in the dm upon I. This doesn't have any relation with y, so therefore dm, this dm value, this is bending moment is same and everywhere. So dm we have taken as outside, and I, moment of inertia, is same, that we have taken outside, and inside we have taken ay into dy. So ay into dy will give you, if we integrate it between the limits 0 and dy 2, what we will get? In the place of dy, the integration of dy will fetch you y. So it will be ay bar. Ultimately what you are getting, integration of small a will become equal to capital A, means capital A will now represent area above the neutral axis. And y bar is what? Y bar is the distance between the center of gravity of the area and the neutral axis. Y bar is basically what? If this is the complete portion above the neutral axis, then y bar denotes the distance of this neutral axis from this center of gravity of the portion above the neutral axis, y bar. So dm upon I into ay dy integration gives you the value of a into y bar, a into y bar. Alright, so this is basically the value which we have obtained. Now students, what we are going to do, so here you can see, student, that on integration you are getting this expression. Now this was what? This was the total unbalanced force. Now intensity of shear stress, if you want to calculate, for that you will have to divide this total force by area in order to calculate the value of stress, shear stress. So here stress value will be total force by area. Put the value of total force from this expression, and area you all know will be equal to, of this particular portion, your area will be, if the width is your, if b is the width, if b is the width of the beam, and the thickness which you are taking is dx, if thickness dx is the thickness which you are taking, so b into dx will give you what? This will give you the area of that section, b into dx. This will give you the area of that particular portion in which we are considering the shear stress. All right, so this is the area b into dx. Then after what we will do, we will simplify it and write dm by dx into ay by ib, and ay by rb we will keep intact, and we also know that dm by dx, we all know that dm by dx is basically what? dm by dx is basically your shear force. Rate of change of bending moment is your shear force. Rate of change of bending moment gives the value of shear force. So in place of dm by dx, we can put it equal to f. All right, and ay bar by ib is already there. So two things that are important to understand here is that intensity of shear stress we have calculated by dividing with area. How we have calculated the area? Width is already given to us, width of the beam. How much is the width? Width is b. B is the width of the beam. And depth is given to us. What is the depth? Depth is b. The depth is dx. Depth which we have considered is dx. So b into dx is the area which is considered for the shearing action. Alright, got my point? Don't get confused by here, it is b into dx. Similarly, one more point where you can get confused is here. Here basically what it is given to you. Here a y bar y you have put because integration of y dy will give you the value of y bar. Alright, so this was the expression which we have obtained and which is very important. We will use this expression in the formulas for calculating in the case of shear forces for a rectangle, for a square, and for a triangle and a circle. So let's see, this formula is your tau is equal to f into ay bar upon ib, f into ay bar upon ib, f into ay bar upon ib. This you should keep in mind. Then after moving further, students, now what we will do, we shall study now the distribution of shear stresses along the depth of a beam. For doing this, we will have to calculate the intensity of stress at important sections of the beam and then sketch a shear stress diagram for any section of the beam, for example rectangle, for example triangle, for example circular. For any section of the beam, what we will have to do, we will have to find now the distribution of shear stress along the length of the beam. And for doing so, we will calculate the intensity of shear stress. All right, at different locations of the beam, we will find the intensity of shear stress at this location, then this location, then this location. At every point we are going to calculate the value of shear stress, and then we are going to draw the shear stress diagram for this location. We are going to draw the shear stress diagram for this particular location in this way. Now such diagram will help us in obtaining the value of shear stress at any section along the depth of the beam. This why we are making this diagram, because this diagram will help us in calculating the value of shear stress at any section along the depth of the beam. We shall now, students, discuss the distribution of shear stress over the following sections. What are the sections which we are going to discuss? Rectangular, triangular, circular, I section, T section, and there are some miscellaneous sections which is a combination of these sections which we will see, in which we will see the distribution of the shear stresses. First of all, let's consider the triangular section. Let's consider first of all, let's consider a rectangular section. We are taking a rectangular section, students. ABCD, its name is ABCD. A, then after here it is B. Alright, this is C, and at the top here, somewhere here it is D. Alright, so this section we are taking of width and depth as is shown in the figure. Let's take the figure which is already made within us. Let's take this figure. We are taking this figure, students. So in this figure you can see, this has already, yes, now you can see in this figure, students. In this figure we have two sections A, B and C, D, and width is given to us as B, depth is given to us as D. And the formula for calculating the shear stress, which we have calculated in the previous slide, that the shear stress across any section JK, this is the section, student, which is at a distance of y from the neutral axis, The formula is what? Formula is tau is equal to F into Ay bar upon Ib. F into Ay bar upon Ib. I is your moment of inertia, B is the width. Alright, expressions, we all know F denotes your shear force at the section. A denotes the area of the section above the Y. Area A is basically what? It is the area of the section above Y. Alright, means above Y here, which is the portion, this shaded portion, this is the portion above this JK line, above this Y. So don't get confused, this area is the area above Y. Y bar is the moment of, it is the distance of the shaded area from the neutral axis. It is the distance of the shaded area's center of gravity from the neutral axis. And Ay bar will give you what? Ay bar, it is very obvious that it is the product of area into distance. This will give you moment of shaded area about the neutral axis. Finally, I is what? It is the moment of inertia of whole of the section about the neutral axis, and B is the width of the section. So let's see how we will calculate this. See, first of all, we have to calculate the area of this shaded portion. How we will calculate this area? First of all, its width is given to us at B. Its width is given to us as B. We have to only calculate its depth. This portion we have to calculate from here to here. What is the length that is needed to be known? So for that, let's use some brain. This complete depth is D. Half of this will give you the distance from here to here. So this is your D by 2. Alright, and from D by 2, if you minus this Y, you will get this particular length. Alright, and this is the length which we need as the depth. So D by 2 minus Y, D by 2 minus Y will give you this particular length, from here to here. Alright, this means D by 2 minus Y is your depth and B is the width. Area will be B into D by 2 minus Y. Y bar, how we will calculate the Y bar? So Y bar, first of all, what is it? It is the distance from the center of gravity to this neutral axis line. So Y plus something, this value. So what is this value? Center of gravity will lie at a distance of half of the depth. This complete is D by 2 minus Y. And its half will be what? Half into D by 2 minus Y. And add on it Y, you will get the distance from here to here. Alright. So this is your basically Y bar. Alright. Then after, what we are going to do? Then after, students, if you will simplify, you can write it as Y plus D by 2 minus Y by 2. Y plus D by 4 minus Y by 2. Similarly, if you simplify, you can write it as Y by 2 plus D by 4, and finally you can take a half as common, and inside it will be Y plus D by 2. Substituting these values of A and Y bar, which we have calculated for the shaded portion AJKD, we are substituting this value in the equation of shear stress, which we have already framed in the previous slide, that shear stress is equal to F into AY bar upon IB. So if you will frame, put the value of A you have already here, Y bar you are already having here, put these values, what will happen? You will get an expression, and the expression is this one, D by 2 minus Y, and here Y plus D by 2. So both by formula A square minus B square formula we can use here, and it will be equal to D square by 4 minus Y square. So this is the expression for shear stress. Now let's have a look on the distribution of shear stress. The expression we have obtained. Now the distribution of shear stress, this expression we have obtained for calculating the value of shear stresses for a section which is rectangular in shape. Now students, what we are going to do, we are going to find the distribution of shear stress, means this diagram, that at which portion you will have how much shear stress value. So from the above equation we can see that tau increases as Y decreases. What is the above expression? You can see here that the relation between tau is, this is the relation, and what will happen if we vary Y on the shear stress? See, Y, if you will increase the value of Y, if you increase the value of Y, then shear stress value will decrease exponentially. Alright, if you put the value of Y equal to 0, then what will happen in this expression, students? You can see that if I put the value of y, if we decrease the value of y, then tau value will increase. All right, and if we put the value of y equal to d by 2, your tau will be equal to 0. How? I can show you here. This is the expression, student. In this expression, if you put the value of y here equal to how much? Equal to d by 2, what will happen? D square by 4 will you will get here. All right, you will get d square by 4, and this will cancel out. Finally you will get 0 here. Shear stress value will be 0 on putting y is equal to d by 2. All right, and maximum value you will get when y is equal to 0. When will be the maximum value? When y you will put equal to 0. When you will put this y equal to 0, you will get the maximum value of shear stress. So you can understand the distribution now, that both are inversely proportional. This tau shear stress is inversely proportional to the distance from the neutral axis. All right. So if you put y is equal to 0, you will get shear stress maximum. If you put y equal to d by 2, your shear stress value is 0. So we can draw a diagram something like this. And the variation you can see tau and both variation you can see it is something like this. Inversely proportional. It is something like this. It is inversely proportional. All right, and that also parabolic types. Therefore, in this way we can draw its shear stress distribution, that at the, when y is equal to 0 means that is at the neutral axis you have maximum value of tau, and when y is equal to d by 2, you have shear stress value equal to 0. So this will be the diagram. So this is the distribution you can see for a rectangular section. This is the distribution. All right, at neutral axis the value of tau is maximum, and what is the value? Put the value equal to d by 2, you will get the maximum. Substituting y is equal to 0 and I is equal to bd cube by 12. For a rectangular section, you know that across the neutral axis your moment of inertia is what? Bd cube by 12. This is your b, this is your d. All right, so bd cube by 12. So putting these two I value and y value in the expression, what we will get? You will get maximum value of maximum value equal to 3f upon 2bd, 3f upon 2bd, and f upon bd you can write it is the average value of shear stress. If you have to calculate the average value of shear stress, it will be how much? It will be f upon bd, f upon b into d. All right, so the one tau max can be written as 1.5 into tau average, or we can say tau max is equal to 3f upon 2bd. All right, this expression is important. Now we will solve a numerical, student. Let's take example in which the cross section is rectangular in shape. This is a wooden beam. It is 100 mm wide and 250 mm deep. This is the values which are also given in this diagram. 3 meter is the length, total length of the beam is 3 meter, and it is carrying a UDL. This 3 meter is important because we will use it in calculation of moment of inertia, which is bd cube by 12. All right, then it is carrying a UDL of 40 kilonewton per meter. We have to determine the maximum shear stress and sketch the variation of shear stress along the depth of the beam. All right, so let's see, students. This basically you can imagine this beam something like this. All right, if in this way you can imagine this beam, it is like this. All right, in here the length has been given to you, the length has been given to you. All right, how much is the length? The length is 3 meter. The length here is given to you as 3 meter. Then after, what is the depth? Depth is also given to you. Depth is your how much? It is 250. Depth is your 250. Then after, the width is given to you. Width means this value. This is given to you as equal to 100. This is 100. All right. So these 3 dimensions, now you can imagine it in a better way. So these 3 dimensions are given to you and UDL is applied on it. UDL is 4 kilonewton per meter. 4 kilonewton per meter is the UDL. You can consider it as a point load of value 4 kilonewton, means 4 into, in Newton if you want to do it, then it will be 4 into 10 to the power 3, and then you will have to multiply it. Then you will have to multiply it with the distance on which the UDL is acting. So UDL is acting on a hole. This means that 4 into 10 to the power 3 into what is the whole length of the beam? It is 3 meter. So 3. Alright, into you will have to do 10 to the power 3, because again it is in meter, so in mm it will be 10 to the power 3. Now you are understanding, it is now clear somewhat. We have to determine the maximum shear stress. So first of all, what is the shear force at one end of the beam? If we want to calculate the shear force at this particular position where this load is applied, how we will calculate? At one end of the beam, support reaction, if you want to calculate, if there is support here and here, all right, then what will be the value? What will be the value of support reaction here and here? Support reaction will be WL by 2, because this is symmetrical. Only UDL is acting, and that too on the whole beam, and we have converted it into a point load. So what will be the value? The value will be equal to, your load was W into L. All right, W is the point, W is the UDL, and on which it is acting? It is acting on the length L. So WL by 2, both side will be the reaction. WL by 2, both side will be the reaction. Then after, this is WL by 2. Then after, what will happen? We have calculated the value. This is the shear force at one end of the beam. All right, this is at one section, at this extreme section, either here at this support or here. The value of shear force at these extreme ends is equal to the support reaction, and support reaction is how much? It is WL by 2. Now 60 into 10 to the power 3 we have calculated, and now what we will do? We will calculate the area of the beam section. What will be the area of the beam section? Area of the beam will be equal to, B is the width, D is the depth. Multiply both value we are having, we will get the area. Now the average shear stress, if you want to calculate directly, we have the formula simple. Shear stress is equal to shear force upon area. So this will give you the value, area, cross sectional area, as well as the force, both are here. We will get equal to 2.4 Newton per mm square. Newton per mm square can be written as megapascal. Now the maximum shear stress value, this we have to calculate, and by formula which we have derived, we know that maximum shear stress for a rectangular section, maximum shear stress for a rectangular section is equal to 1.5 into tau. 1.5 into tau. This means that the diagram which is showing, we all know that for a rectangular section you have the maximum value of shear stress at this neutral axis point here, and zero value at this particular extreme ends. So this will be the distribution of shear stress, and maximum value which you will get here, it is given by the relation which we have derived, 1.5 into tau for a rectangular section. All right, I hope you have understood this concept. So now this was for a rectangular section. Now let's take the example of a triangular section. If the beam is of triangular cross section, so for that case what we will do? Let's consider a beam like this. For your understanding, let me draw a beam. All right, a triangular beam means something like this. All right, let this be the triangular beam, and it is supported here and here. Now it is okay. Now it is supported at these 2 points. Now what we will do, students, the cross section is something like this. We are taking the height of the beam as h, and width we are taking as b, and we are taking a small portion, all right, ajk. The portion's depth is x from the above point. Now as per the formula, the common formula which we have for calculating shear stress is equal to, shear stress tau is equal to F into A y bar upon IB. F is what? F is the shear force. A by y bar will give you the moment of the shaded area above the neutral axis, and I is your moment of inertia of the triangular section about its neutral axis. All right, so this is the formula. We will first of all calculate the value of, area y bar, and we will replace here in the formula. So first we will calculate the area. How we will calculate the area of this small portion? This area, we all know, of area of a triangle is given by, first of all we have considered the width of the strip JK. We will have to first of all calculate the width of this strip JK. So this width of this strip JK, how we will get? See, on one end the width is, x, on the other end the width is 0. So b plus 0, that means b into, what is the distance of this small portion? It is x. And what is the distance between the extreme and h? So we can write that the width, of the strip at this JK, width of the strip at this portion JK, it will be equal to bx by h. It will be equal to bx by h. All right, bx by h. Area, for area, how we will calculate area? Area, we all know, area of a triangle, this particular triangle, area of triangle is equal to half into base into height, half into JK into x. JK we have calculated equal to, JK is basically the width, it is equal to bx by h. All right, into x. So this will give you the expression for area as bx square by 2h. Y bar is the distance from the neutral axis to the center of gravity of this section. So center of gravity, you all know, of a triangle, center of gravity of a triangle lie at a distance from the top. If you will consider, it will be 2h by 3. It will be 2h by 3. And center of gravity for this small portion will be 2x by 3. So the distance between these 2 points, center of gravity and the neutral axis, this you will subtract these two values, 2x by 3 and 2h by 3. 2x by 3 and 2h by 3 you will subtract, 2 by 3 will be common, and this will be the expression which you are getting, 2 by 3 h minus x. Now putting these values in the expression for shear stress, in place of area put the value of area, bx square by 2h. In the expression of y bar put the value of y bar, 2 by 3 h minus x. And in the position of b width, put the value of width here of this particular portion, small strip, jk bx by h. You will get an expression something like this, f upon 3i h x minus x square. What is the expression for shear stress in the case of triangle? F upon 3i hx minus x square. So you can see the relation between x and tau. Now again, as x increases, if you increase the value of x here, that value of tau here will decrease. All right, x you will increase, it is in minus, it is getting subtracted, therefore the value of tau will decrease. Now when x will be equal to 0, then the value of this whole of the tau will also be 0. So this you should keep in mind. If you put the value of x here equal to 0, what will happen? Here also 0, here also 0, you will get the value equal to 0. Means at this extreme positions here, you will have the value at this extreme position and this extreme position, you will have the value equal to 0. And maximum value where you will get, when if you will put the value of x, equal to how much? 2h by 3. If you will put the value of x equal to 2h by 3, you will get the maximum value. So let's put the value 2h by 3 in the expression. What you will get? 2h by 3 you are putting in place of x, you are getting something like this. All right, here also moment of inertia is, if you will put the value of this moment of inertia, bh cube by 36 for a triangle, you all know that moment of inertia value for a triangle is equal to how much? Bh cube by 36. So put this expression here. Finally you will get equal to 8f upon bh, and now f upon bh is the average value of shear stress. F upon bh is the average value of shear stress. So finally what you are getting? You are getting that maximum value of shear stress will be equal to 1.33 into average value of shear stress. Maximum value of shear stress will be equal to 1.33 into average value of shear stress. I hope you have understood this expression. Let's solve one numerical. First of all, now maximum intensity has to be created. Right now what we have calculated, we have put the value x is equal to 2 by 3, that is at neutral axis. All right, so this is the value at neutral axis. but still is it maximum value, this we don't know. So for that you will have to what you have to do, you will have to differentiate this expression of tau with respect to x and put it equal to 0. So by doing this thing, by doing this thing, students, by putting this expression, tau is equal to f upon 3i hx minus x square equal to 0, by putting this differentiation of tau with respect to x equal to 0, this expression, you can get the value of x where you are getting the maximum value of shear stress. So putting this, you are getting x is equal to h by 2. So at a position x is equal to h by 2, you will get the maximum value of shear stress. All right. So putting this value, you will get 1.5 into average shear stress. This is the maximum value of shear stress, and that you will get at a distance of h by 2. So not at the neutral axis, at h by 2 distance from one extreme end, you will get the maximum value of tau. All right. So this is the question. Now on the basis of this particular cross section, triangular cross section, triangular is the cross section, base width is 100 mm, height is 150 mm, subjected to shear force of 13.5 kilonewton. What will be the value of maximum shear stress now? That we will have to calculate. All right, this is the diagram. Width, height and shear force all is given to us. First of all, what we will do, we will calculate the area. Area we all know it will be equal to how much? BH by 2. This is the area of the beam section. Area of the beam section. The area we are taking half into base into height. This is half into B into H. This is the area. And average shear stress we can calculate by dividing this the force by area. Force value is how much, which is given in the question, that is 13.5. This is the load which is acting. This is the shear force which is acting. So shear force divided by area will give you the shear stress. So shear stress average value we have calculated, it is equal to 1.8 Newton per mm square. And the maximum value of shear stress will be how much? Maximum, for maximum value of shear stress, we all know the formula. Correct it is the maximum value. Maximum stress is equal to 1.5 into average stress. So by this we can get the value of maximum shear stress also. All right. So I hope this is also understood to you. It's already 42 minutes. Let's solve some multiple choice question, and then I will discuss in the coming lecture. I will discuss you about the distribution. In the coming lecture, I will discuss with you about the distribution of shear stress over the circular section. All right, students. So let's solve the multiple choice questions now. So starting with the multiple choice question number 1. What is the question? Question is saying that in a SS beam, simply supported beam, fibers above the neutral axis are in. So we know that in the case of simply supported beam, fibers above the neutral axis are in compression. All right. Let's again start the MCQs. Let's start with this particular MCQ. This is the first MCQ, students. This is based on the shear stress. What is the question asking with you? The question is asking that the direction of shear stress in a loaded beam is. So in a loaded beam, we all know that the direction of shear stress can be horizontal, can be vertical. All right. So direction of shear stresses in a loaded beam can be horizontal as well as vertical. Next question. Question number 2. Shear stress in a beam acting on the cross section is. So shear stress on the beam acting on a cross section is basically tangential to the cross section. Always the shear stress acting on the beam is on the acting on the cross section is in tangential to the cross section. Coming into the third multiple choice question, shear stress variation is. This is the third question, student. Shear stress variation is. So we all know that the relation which we have seen, always we have got a parabolic relation between the shear stress and the distance. So shear stress variation is always parabolic. You will get always graph something like this, shear stress distribution. So C is the answer. Next multiple choice question, students. MCQ number 4. For a beam of rectangular cross section, the ratio tau max upon tau average. So for a rectangular cross section, we have seen that this ratio is 1.5. Always maximum stress is equal to 1.5 times of the average stress. Then shear stress, this was your question number 4. Coming into the next, shear stress is 0 at. So we have seen that when is the shear stress 0? Shear stress is 0 always at the outermost fiber. So A is the correct option. Alright. Coming into the next multiple choice questions. Question is saying you that shear stress is maximum at the, so shear stress you will get shear stress maximum at the central fiber. Always you have seen in that proof also, we have seen in the case of rectangular as well as triangular section, shear stress is maximum at the central fiber. Coming into the next three multiple choice question, this is the multiple choice question number 7. What is the question? Shear stress in an I section beam is maximum at, so for I section we will see in the coming lecture also, we will see that central fiber only gives you the value of maximum shear stress. And for a beam of circular cross section, the ratio of tau max upon tau average is basically how much? So for a circular cross section, this again we will see in the coming lecture. Alright, that the shear stress is 4/3. Now again in the ninth multiple choice question, students, for a beam of triangular cross section, now this we have completed. Here maximum stress upon average stress is how much? It is equal to A, 3/2. Alright. Coming into the last one, for a beam of triangular cross section, this is the 9th MCQ, students. What is the question asking? The ratio tau max upon tau average for a triangular section, it is 3/2. It is equal to 3/2 for a triangular section. So A is the correct option. All right. 1.33 basically, and 1.33 you can write as 3/2. So A is the correct option. Then after question number 10, students, this is the question number 10. The 10th MCQ is what? The 10th MCQ is shear stress causes deformation, distortion, deformation as well as distortion, and none. So we all know that shear stress always causes distortion in the beam. So B is the correct option. So all the multiple choice questions we have completed. You can use these references for your self study. I have used these books for compiling the content of this video lecture. Thank you. It's enough, students, for today. Thank you. Again, we will meet in the next video lecture, and I will discuss you about the shearing stresses in the case of circular cross section as well as for the I beams. All right. So thank you, students. Thank you and have a nice day.